The Chicago Bears got toe up on Sunday, 41-10 to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not sure we would have scored any points in that game if the Kansas City Chiefs didn't let up on us. Matt Eberflus is a topic of discussion. Luke Getsy is a topic of discussion. And as much as I've already beat up on Justin Fields, we're going to touch on him and his performance a little bit too, right after this.
Down or lay down and get smacked with the pole.
By this time, everybody on that roster should know what it means to beat the Packers. It's simple.
If I was a coach, Justin Fields would have been balling from day one.
Yes, balling since day one. Look, we're going to start with Justin Fields. Stats line from Sunday's ball game, 11 for 22, 99 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 3 times. He was our leading rusher, 11 carries for 47 yards, longest for 17. Look, I said a lot about Justin Fields, and today I'm not gonna drag him too much because he's not really my focal point. I really want to get to Matt Eberflus and Luke Getsy, but Justin Fields got his hands dirty in this as well. He got to play better. First of all, 99 yards is not good enough. It's not good enough. And he wouldn't have at one point, I think it was probably either late in the third or maybe early in the fourth. He had 29 total passing yards or something like that. It's not good enough. This is what I think is going on with Justin Fields. And a lot of people, you probably heard this everywhere by now, but he's broken. He's a little bit broken. And I think after that Packer game, I think the Packer game was big for not only him, but it was big for Jordan Love as well. And if Justin Fields would have had in which he did have a pretty good Packer game. I remember in that first half of that Packer game, Justin Fields was like 10 for 14 with 96 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. But if you remember watching him in that first half, we didn't score too many points, but he looked that he was hitting the check downs. He was hitting guys. He was boom, 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 boom. And the bottom just fell out in that second half, and he has not been the same since. So I don't know what changed from that first half. Not saying it was great, but he was 10 for 14, 96 yards in the first half. The completions were there. So I don't know what happened from that point till now, but whatever it is has Justin Fields shook. And a lot of people, including myself, are saying he's broken. So Justin Fields, oh man, we were okay. Again on Sunday against the Chiefs, we were 4 for 12 on third down. We had 11 total first downs. The Chiefs had 31 total first downs. That is unacceptable. Now that defense, and we're gonna get on into that when we talk about Matt Eberflus, but he had 99 passing yards and 87 net passing yards. So that's not good enough in 2023's football league. Justin Fields, he was holding the ball. I don't give me that O-line bullshit because yes, it's true, but two things can be true in this situation. Justin Fields needs to. You're not at Ohio State, man. Ohio State Open and NFL Open are different. I don't know if he's waiting for him to get Ohio State Open, or if you want to call it College Open. It ain't gonna happen too many times in the NFL. You gotta hit the guys when it's NFL Open, and I'm sure they've talked to him a bunch about that, but it don't seem like it's registering to him. And man, like, as much as I've been rooting for this dude and I want to see him succeed, I'm a Bears fan and I want what's best for the team. And at this point, it's not looking like he's best for the team. So I'm gonna move on from Justin Fields. Like I said, I didn't want to talk too much about Fields. I do that enough. A lot of people do that enough. Let's get into Matt Eberflus first before we get on to his counterpart, Luke Getsy. So Matt Eberflus, total record with the Chicago Bears is 3-17. He's on a 13-game losing streak. Yes. 13-game losing streak. That is hard as hell to do in the NFL. Like, first of all, this team ain't that bad to be on a 13-game losing streak. But even last year when you were on a 10-game losing streak, I don't care how Ryan Poles tore this team apart or tore it down to rebuild it. You cannot. 10 games in a row is really fucking hard to do. And on his part, Matt Eberflus, let's get into some of the things he's been doing. For this last game, in general, first of all, we got 1 sack in 3 games. That's terrible. That is definitely NFL low. But let's get into some of these numbers from Matt Eberflus. Got a tweet I pulled up. Ali Connolly, he posted this. The Bears defense over the last 2 seasons combined under Matt Eberflus. 32nd in EPA per play, 32nd in dropback EPA per play, 32nd in pressure rate, 32nd in pressure rate with the 4-man rush, which they love trying to do in this Tampa 2-4-3 scheme. They like to rush the quarterback with 4 guys. We are last in doing that. 32nd in sacks per game, which I just said, and 32nd in yards conceded per coverage snap. Dude, this defense is by far the worst defense I've seen in Chicago in a long, long time. You cannot, first of all, you cannot continue to rush these quarterbacks with 4 guys. You're getting 0 pressure. Week 1 against Green Bay, I think we had 6 pressures total. And I think they had like 20 something. And then they're 26 pressures. We had 6. The next game, I forget how many pressures we had, but it wasn't much better. It was a little better, but it wasn't much better. You're not getting pressure. You got to start running some games. You got to start running stunts with the D line. And we don't do that enough. It's not the one I wanted. Here we go. And Adam Johns tweeted this out. And Matt Eberflus' second game in charge of the defense, the Bears barely blitzed at a 7.3% rate. Over 3 games, only 2 teams have blitzed less percentage-wise. The Cardinals, which were the worst team before this past weekend, and the Bills. But the Bears have 1 sack this season, and the Bills have 12 sacks. So I think they can afford to blitz a little less. But when your numbers look like this, 30-second, 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 all of that, you have to send some blitzes. You have the audacity to sit back and knowing your O-line is generating 0 pressure and you don't want to send any blitzes. You are a defensive-minded head coach, and you are not doing your job. You are one of the biggest problems. Look, I don't think he can lead men. I don't like his style. I don't like his personality much. I mean, I don't have anything against the dude, but I don't think he is a good head coach. He seems like Nagy all over again. He has no grit to him. He's not holding players accountable. I am tired of going listening to these press conferences after these terrible performances, and he's finding positives that aren't really positives and hanging his hat on them. Hanging his hat on these false positives that he's taking away from these games. It's terrible. It's not okay. And look, I tell you what, if we go out there and we get blown out by Denver after they just lost 70-20. I'm not saying we got to win this game, but we damn sure better not go out there and get ramsacked by the fucking team that just let somebody score 70 points on them. That's the worst. That's worse than what Matt Nagy was doing when he was here and he got fired. You got to get rid of this dude if that happens, because you're not improving. You're not improving year by year. That's a coaching. There's no way you bring in this much talent, Ryan Poles, and I'm on your ass in a second too. There's no way you bring in this much talent and you get much, much worse. The Chicago Bears, we are a lot worse than we were last year. And how? How is that possible? coaching. You're not developing these players. Nobody's getting better, including Justin Fields. And that's a huge, huge issue for me. I don't know if he's lost the locker room right by now or not. I would assume that is getting pretty damn close to him for him losing this locker room. But God, Mike McDaniel. So in comparison, remember Tua Tagovailoa. A couple years ago, he was basically getting ready to be thrown out the league or becoming a career backup in the league when Brian Flores was the head coach over there. They bring in Mike McDaniel. Now he's a household name. Don't get me wrong, Tyreek Hill helps with that a whole lot, but DJ Moore is not a receiver to fucking just wave off. He's a talented receiver, and I do think we got a few weapons in here to help Justin Fields out. But like I said, coaching, it's about this part is about Matt Eberflus. If Mike McDaniel can go in there and take Tua from almost being thrown in the trash by fans and the NFL media and turn him into a prime MVP candidate. He got hurt last year, so that kind of derailed it, but he looked like he's right back on track. Polls, why the hell didn't you not polls, but Chicago Bears organization, why didn't you bring in Mike McDaniel for an interview? He loves Justin Fields. Can you imagine the dynamic between Mike McDaniel, who is hilarious as a coach, and Justin Fields? I gotta imagine we having a whole different conversation right now about this team in general. But so you got Mike McDaniel turning that around with Tua. Then you go to Arizona, who was supposedly it was a lot of tank accusations coming in, and rightfully so. We thought they was fucking tanking. They just knocked off the Dallas Cowboys. I guarantee you, ain't no way in hell the Chicago Bears beating them at any point in this season. And I don't care how many injuries they got. We would get our ass dogged by the Dallas Cowboys. But Arizona just whooped on them. With a quarterback, I don't know when traded for him, a month and a half ago, Joshua Dobbs. You just brought this dude in. He didn't even work with y'all for too much in the offseason, but you just brought this dude in and y'all just got to win. It's about competency. They look competent. The Chicago Bears look like a JV football team. We look like we don't even belong on the same field as these dudes. We got blown coverages constantly when the DB room was supposed to be our strength. Matt Eberflus, this is you. This is what you do. Defense. Why are there blown coverages? Way too many blown coverages. No pressure. No slight. Mahomes struggled against every opponent he's faced this year until he played us. But anyway, like I said, Joshua Dobbs gets to Arizona, knocks off the Dallas Cowboys. It must be fucking nice. I don't even know who the coach in Arizona right now, and I really don't give a fuck. But it must be nice because he seemed like he better than what we got in Matt Eberflus. Man, there was so much I wanted to say. I can't even remember everything I wanted to say about Eberflus because I'm so fucking pissed. Just thinking about it just pisses me off. We running this 4-3 Tampa 2, and we don't even got to know a 3 tech. And you all off season, Matt Eberflus been pounding 3 tech, the will linebacker, 3 tech. You wouldn't spend all, and this is Ryan Poles, because Ryan Poles, and I might as well get into Ryan Poles. Before I get into Ryan Poles, can y'all do me a favor? Go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear Podcast. You can find us on YouTube like you watching now. And also find us on Facebook at the Black Bear Podcast. Much appreciated. But back to it. Ryan fucking Poles, you on the hot seat too. I won't say your seat is hotter than Matt Eberflus per se, but that is getting warm. It's definitely warm. You ain't comfortable sitting there. Let's look at the Ryan Poles real quick. Look at this. These are his defensive picks since he's been here. First pick, Kyler Gordon. Then his next was Jaquan Brisker, then Javon Dexter, Tyreek Stevenson, Zach Pickens. Then here's some of the free agent moves he's made this year. You see the big money for a year, 18 million a year. APY, 50 million guaranteed to Tremaine Edmonds. Then you got the 1 year deal to Yannick Ngakoue. Then you got a 3 year deal for DeMarcus Walker, the 3 year deal for TJ Edwards, then the 2 year deal for Justin Jones. DVOA, 23rd, 26th in the league. So, and this not even talking about his pick with Darnell Wright and all the other offensive linemen he's drafted. Kyler Gordon, first of all, I know the Bears like to hype up these players, but is Kyler Gordon, is he? I like Kyler Gordon. I like him. So when I ask this question, I'm not coming at him. But is he good? Is he good? Or because we got a habit of hyping up dudes. Is Jaquan Brisker good? After every play he's laid out on the ground. I know it's a dangerous sport, especially when you play safety, strong safety, and you're as aggressive as he is, but is he good? Is he any good? We've been talking about Jaquan Brisker like he's gonna be this all pro safety. Now, Ryan Poles, I do think Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon, I think they can be solid. Kyler Gordon broke his hand, so he's been out. But these D linemen, Javon Dexter, look, if you're going to run this 4-3 defense and you're going to try to get to the quarterback with 4 guys, you have to invest way more than what we have in this D line. Winning starts in the trenches, Ryan Poles. You should know that. The O line and the D line, that's where winning starts. We have not invested nearly enough in our D line. Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens, those aren't not premium picks. Jalen Carter would have been a premium pick. We had money. You spent all that money on you see it down there, Tremaine Edmonds. I'd rather you just paid TJ Edwards the money you gave him and spend that money that you gave Tremaine Edmonds on a D lineman, on something premium. Because you just can't do this. This is not okay. And it won't work. It will not work, and it won't get any better. Yeah, I talked about blitzing, but blitzing ain't gonna help this. We didn't spend enough money on a premium in the trenches. Winning starts in the trenches, and we are fucking terrible in the trenches. Oh my God, it's so frustrating. Ryan Poles, what else did your ass do? You man, but you brought in Chase Claypool. You used a high pick on him. I didn't really agree with it because I wasn't a Chase Claypool guy to begin with, but you had to give Justin some help at that point. So do what you got to do at that point, but it's not looking good because you ain't paying him. You ain't keeping him. Why didn't you interview Mike McDaniel? Why wasn't he even in the building? Why didn't we even speak to him? Bears front office, George McCaskey, I'm sure they put a bug in your ear like, hey, we like this Eberflus dude. Maybe you should hire him. And it kind of nudged you, trying to kind of give you a push to hire their guy anyway, which I get into that organization as well. I'm not happy with Ryan Poles has put together. This is the worst defense I've seen. At least the Bears have always been good at defense. We are shitty at defense. We're the worst team. I can show you the numbers again. Those defensive numbers suck. 32nd, 32nd, 32nd. Eberflus is to blame. His seat is a lot hotter than Ryan Poles is. But I don't think it's by much. And this is my opinion. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's getting fired. None of these coaches. Now, look, we get our ass blown out by Denver. We might. We better not get blown out by Denver. But so Ryan Poles hasn't done. He got way too much hype in the offseason. Entirely too much hype. So You are to blame, Ryan Poles. Matt Eberflus, you are to blame. Justin Fields, you are to blame. And Luke Getsy. Moving on to Luke motherfucking Getsy. How, if you're trying to develop Justin Fields, why would you bring in a play caller who is learning himself? You saw the double screen. We all saw the double screen, back-to-back screening in the Tampa game. Why would you call two screens in a row? I don't care where the fuck they at on the field. Two screens in a row, you're so predictable. You got players from other teams talking about how predictable y'all are. You got players from other teams talking to our players saying they're not using you right. Look, DJ Moore, we gave up we made a power move to get DJ Moore, and we're not using him correctly. DJ Moore, let's look at his numbers from the game. DJ Moore had 3 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown. And the touchdown came in garbage time, and I think 2 of those catches came in garbage time, which were some good throws by Fields, don't get me wrong. But he only had 6 targets. You got to dial up. At this point, I don't care about Chase Claypool. I don't give a fuck about Darnell Mooney. I like these dudes. But at this point, you have to force feed DJ Moore, Luke Getsy. And you need to drill that into Justin Fields' head. You got to force feed this dude. You did too much to get him here. He might be on pace to have his worst season of his career. Golly, man. What they say, this is where receivers go to die, and it's looking like it's coming true. Justin, you got to force feed him. Luke Getsy, you got to call up plays to get him force fed. We have turned into a team with no identity, and at least last year we had we were running. We was the number 1 running team. We could run. That was our identity. Gonna run the damn football. We're not running the football, Luke Getsy. I don't care what the team is doing. They're scheming against it. They're scheming against whatever. Justin Fields, there's no reason he shouldn't have the most rush attempts, most rushing yards by any quarterback right now. There's no reason. I don't care if they're stopping it or not. But not even that. The Roschon Johnson, Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman was a healthy scratch for the last 2 games. But Roschon Johnson had 8 carries for 36 yards. His longest was 11. He was a 4.8 yards per carry guy in this past game against Kansas City. Khalil Herbert had 7 carries, 31 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. So you got 8 carries for Roschon. You got 7 for Khalil Herbert. That's not enough. We need to run the ball. And I get the time of possession was very lopsided, but that's because they ran the ball. We had Roschon with 8 carries and Khalil Herbert with 7. Guess what the running backs had? Pacheco had 15 by himself. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had another 15 by himself. McKinnon had 2 in there as well. That's way more carries than. Why are we throwing it? Like, what happened to the DNA, Luke? Who psyched you out to like switch up everything you like put in place last year to start doing this and playing this style of football? I thought we were going to be a run heavy team and Justin Fields was going to be able to read defenses, cut the field in half because you call a play action. We ran it a couple times, called a play action, roll them out, do the boot, cut the field in half, boom, let them work like that. We are not doing that. We are shotgun, and some more shotgun. This shit is terrible, Luke. I think you might got the hottest seat of all, Luke Getsy. I think your seat is the hottest, and I don't understand why we brought in a new head coach. We brought in a new offensive coordinator. We got a new GM, all first time at their jobs to make Justin Fields work. Justin Fields needs somebody who's done this before, somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who knows how to get his shit together. Now, Mike McDaniel, that may be why you didn't hire Mike McDaniel. I don't know why y'all didn't bring Mike McDaniel in this building. The dude is amazing. I love his attitude. I love the way he has that team pumped up and fired up every weekend. Must be fucking nice. But Luke Getsy, you might be on the hottest. Your seat may be the hottest. Your ass is hot right now because that seat's so damn hot. But Luke Getsy, you may be the first to go, sir. You may be the first to go. That the play calling is evidently, the scheme is obviously terrible. Like you don't got to know much about football to just look at it and be like, why this game don't look like the Arizona game, or why don't this team look like the Rams or any other fucking team in the league? We look elementary. We look very JV like. And offensively, Luke Getsy, you are not doing a good job. I can't believe Bears fans, when we first hired him, they were scared that, if he gets Justin Fields right, if he makes it work with Justin Fields, we're gonna lose him. Lose who? Don't nobody want Luke Getsy ass, and didn't nobody want Luke Getsy ass. So could cut that shit out. So we talked about Justin Fields, we talked about Matt Eberflus, we talked about Luke Getsy, we talked about Ryan Poles. But this is probably the most important thing. It's another cycle. We're doing this again. And what I mean by that is you had Mitchell Trubisky in here. Ryan Pace was the GM. We had John Fox. We fired John Fox. Brought in Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy did not draft. He did not draft Mitchell Trubisky. Matt Nagy didn't like Mitchell Trubisky. It was evident. He couldn't wait to bench him. And then when he did bench him, he had no choice but to bring him back in because the offense wasn't fucking working anyway. But I'm saying this because Matt Nagy did not draft Mitchell Trubisky. Matt Nagy, and then we moved on from Matt Nagy because he couldn't fix Mitchell Trubisky. But we moved on from Matt Nagy after we allowed him and Ryan Pace to draft another quarterback, and we gave him 1 year. Then we moved on from them. Now here goes history repeating itself. Matt Eberflus did not draft Justin Fields. Ryan Poles did not draft Justin Fields. So it's looking like history is repeating itself. We can't get aligned. We need a GM that hires the coach, that drafts the quarterback all together. Not inheriting, you're inheriting quarterbacks from previous regimes, and it don't work like that. GMs and coaches want their own guy. So I'm afraid that this is looking like that same old the same old. Oh my God, this fucking team, this organization, and that's the organizational thing. We all know that the organization is iffy up top, but walk in Kevin Warren. Kevin Warren, you in control now, man. You might need to pull the plug on this a lot sooner because I'm sure you ain't seen no shit like this yourself, Kevin. So we need to get aligned. We need a GM, we need a coach, and we need a quarterback all aligned. The GM hired the coach. The GM and the coach get together and you draft your guy. Don't get confused. Justin Fields is not Ryan Poles' guy. He's not Matt Eberflus' guy, just like Mitchell Trubisky was not Matt Nagy's guy. You let Matt Nagy draft Justin Fields, and then you fired him after 1 year. Man. It's a lot going on, man. This is going to be a long-ass season. Hey, again, could y'all go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear Podcast. Like I said, you can find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube like you watching now. The Black Bear Podcast. We go live after every Chicago Bears game, and we get y'all content throughout the week with pop-up shows, whatever's going on at Hallis Hall and the Chicago Bears. We got you covered. It was a wild week last week, and I updated the fans on that. So hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Have a good rest of y'all night whenever you watching this. And I'm just leave y'all with that. Go Bears. Peace.